Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Spider-Man Wave 13 Demogoblin Build-A-Figure. Here we have the 6th video, and this is the master of Kung Fu himself, Shang-Chi. Now this figure makes sense because they put it in a Spider-Man wave, which is kind of a lot of the street-level Marvel characters. And then there's a movie that's going to be coming out next year, I think it is, 2021. Still, I guess, technically 2019 today, tomorrow 2020. Happy New Year's, everyone. But here's Shang-Chi, and I think this is one that most people, from what I could tell, are very excited for and can't wait to get this figure. And it does look pretty cool. We get a lot of interchangeable hands. They use the Spider-Man 2099 upper torso, which is great. So really excited to do it. So here we get a little bit of a change up. We get a Master of Kung Fu logo right there as opposed to a Spider-Man logo. There's no Spider-Man logo up at the top. The Demogoblin Build-A-Figure, a shield there in the corner. There we have a look at Shang-Chi. It is not Liu Kang. It is not Bruce Lee, as everyone has kind of mentioned on comments on Instagram. Shang-Chi. Here on the back of the package, we look at all the figures in the wave to build the Demogoblin. That is going to be the next video because we have now gone through all the figures. There's a promo shot of the Shang-Chi figure itself. Now let's take a look at that bio. Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is a master of martial arts and a warrior for justice. So that's pretty vague. Not a whole lot going on. I'm not familiar with the character. I'm sure I will enjoy the movie. I am pretty excited about it. I just read something on Instagram saying that the cast is going to be 98% Asian. Being someone that is half Asian, you know, I'm half Korean. It's a big deal to get a movie where, you know, there's a cast that's mainly Asian kind of in the mainstream, a big blockbuster film. So I, for one, am excited for that aspect of it. It's Marvel, so at this point, I have not disappointed in anything that they come out with. The MCU is just something that I absolutely love, and I never seem to be disappointed in. Right or wrong, I guess I'm clouded my own judgment. I love all their movies, so I'm sure I'll love this one when it comes out. I am excited. Now let's take a look at the figure. Alright, and here is the Shang-Chi figure out of the package, and it does look really cool, but then you got problems like that. So my figure is pretty stiff. It's a little cold in the morning, and maybe that has something to do with it, but there's a couple of things that I know that people are going to hate about this figure, and I'll get into that when I go over the articulation, because it's going to be a problem. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's going to be a big problem. But anyway, the accessories that he comes with is really cool. He comes with the nunchuck pieces, so we have the straight out piece, which looks really good. It's just done in a red and gold, molded gold plastic, and then the red for the handles. And then he has the one where it's actually bent, and I'll take a closer look at that when we closer look at the figure. Build-A-Figure piece is the torso and the cape for the Demogoblin, so that is pretty cool. We've seen this before multiple times. It's been released. Hobgoblin, Young Thor, I think it came with. So it's been released a couple of times, and I'll look about it. I don't know if the tear patterns are the exact same. I'll have to take a look at that. But there's the torso piece. Again, we'll look at that in the next video. Shang-Chi has 5 total interchangeable hands, which is really cool. So a lot of the Kung Fu type hands. So you got like the straight out ones, which we've seen over and over again with like running characters that go fast. He comes with 2 fists, of course. He has 2 holding hands. One of them's on the figure already. I already switched one out. So he has 2 holding hands so he can hold the nunchucks. And then he has like the Kung Fu hands where his hands are like this. And he has kind of some hands that are just kind of open. Not like, they're not gripping hands, but they're just kind of open hands. So lots of accessories, really cool. But again, there's a big problem with this figure and you guys are going to hate it. So stay tuned. Let's take a closer look first and then get into the articulation. Okay, so here's a closer look at the Shang-Chi figure, and the head sculpt looks really good. I think Hasbro did a very good job with the head sculpt here. It looks pretty good. His hair is a little bit longer. You can definitely see it as it kind of flows towards the back, and then he has the bandana here, and that's done with just a thin piece of plastic there that's kind of glued on in the back. It's not real pliable. It's not going to move around a whole lot, but you do want to be careful that you're not moving and put too much strain on it. That's going to break apart at the back. It looks like it sits kind of high on there, but then when you look at it straightforward, I think it rests on there pretty good, and that's not so much an issue. Looking at the rest, he has the sash here around the belt, around his waist. It's just there. It's kind of a floating piece. So I think these lower legs are 100% brand new. As you can see, that's kind of the pant leg, and then his ankles are exposed. I don't think that's something that we've seen before. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks pretty good, how you have the ankles in there, and there's actually swivel in there, but I know that's part of the articulation, but just wanted to show you guys there. Paint apps are okay. This yellow line is not the cleanest when it comes to his pant leg, and when it comes to the red, you can see a little bit of overspray or kind of overdone, a little sloppiness around that yellow line, and that's really just on the right. The left isn't so bad, but that's really it for paint. He gets painted on nipples there, and that's it for the paint apps on this figure. There's no wash or shading or anything in the hair, it's just all black, and that's it. Looking at the nunchucks though, we get these two pieces, so you can see there's kind of like a dragon design on there, and that looks actually really cool. So the sculpt is done nicely. I like the way that looks. So you can have it where, you know, he's holding on to it and this is kind of under his arm, and then we have the other piece where it's just straight out. So pretty cool for accessories. Now let's take a look at his articulation. Prepare yourselves, you're gonna hate this. Okay, so for the articulation for Shang-Chi, just take a look at his head. He can look all the way down, which is good. He can look up somewhat. The hair does get in the way on his back a little bit there. Side-to-side motion of the head. A little bit of head pivot in there. So here's what you're gonna hate. You're gonna hate this. So these shoulder joints are not the same as the regular Spider-Man 2099 shoulders. So you could see here, the shoulders on the 2099 body are much smaller, and they use a larger one here that's going to be more muscular. And I don't have a Bucky Cap figure in front of me, but that's probably Bucky Cap shoulders onto the Spider-Man 2099 upper torso. So here's the big problem. I'm not getting any up motion in this shoulder whatsoever, because you can see right here, forgive me, I don't have the light right on there, there's no give on that shoulder to get this thing going up. That's just not going to happen. So that is probably going to bug a lot of people. Now what you can do, no, you can't even do that. I mean, you could do this because you're using that butterfly joint, but you're not going to get, and you could do this kind of thing, but you're not going to get, that's just not, it's not going to happen, because that shoulder is cutting right into the shoulder. You can actually see right there, it's actually cutting right into it already. So that's not going to happen. That's probably going to drive a lot of people nuts. Why Hasbro would do it that way, I don't know. I understand they would want to go for the more muscular shoulder and arm, but that's a problem. So anyway, butterfly joint, you can get the shoulder to go back that much, which is really good, and then get it to go forward that much. There is upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow, which works really well. But again, shoulder's not going to go up at all. Ab crunch, you can get them to crunch down that much forward, which is really, really good. Going back, you can get them to go back that much, which is great. There is a waist swivel there. Legs go out that far apart. You can kick forward fairly well for a kung fu artist. You know, maybe on the side splits, you're not getting a whole lot. But forward a little bit, back not a whole lot. Very, very little upper thigh cut there. Get a double jointed knee, which works well. There is a swivel at the pant leg of that leg, that's little ankle portion that you see there. So there is a swivel there. Foot hinges down all the way. Mine's a little stiff, so I'm trying to be careful with it. And it hinges up a little bit there. And then you do get ankle pivot. And notice the bottom of the feet. There are no peg holes on the bottom of those bare feet. And these bare feet actually look pretty good. It's kind of got some stubby toes, but that looks pretty good. So there's his articulation. I'm curious, you guys start letting me know down in the comments below about those shoulder, you know, if that's going to bug the hell out of you or not. So let's see how he compares some other figures. Okay, here's Shang-Chi next to a standard Spider-Man 2099 body mold. Here's Shang-Chi next to the Pizza Spidey. Shang-Chi next to White Rabbit, and I don't actually have any Shang-Chi villains. I know, again, I'm not real familiar from the comics anyway, but like the Mandarin, I know Toy Biz released a figure. Again, I don't have any Toy Biz figures to show and compare him to. And here he is next to the Chameleon if you wanted to do just kind of a generic henchman thug kind of person. You have a suited body. Here he is looking very small next to Shang-Chi. Okay, and to close out the video, here's the Shang-Chi figure again. I was trying desperately to get him onto 1 foot to do some kind of kicking pose. I just can't do it. I'm tired. I can't get him to balance on 1 foot for the life of me. So a master of kung fu, he's not the most articulated figure, unfortunately. but he is a very good looking figure. So you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the figure. Are you disappointed in what I showed you here in the video? Hopefully not too much. You guys let me know. Are you still picking it up? Are you still excited about it? I'm curious. I would like to know. Hit up the comments below. If you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, hit the notification bell, and as always, thank you for watching.